You ever get the feeling you're the villain in a story you didn't even know was being told? That was me, Jack Morrison, average guy, just trying to make a living plowing snow in upstate New York, and suddenly I'm public enemy number one in Riverside Heights. I'm talking about a place where the most controversial thing used to be who had the best lawn stripes, and now my plow truck was the scandal rocking the cul-de-sac. Let me set the scene. It's early winter and I'm in my living room watching fat snowflakes bury the neighborhood, my phone buzzing with texts from desperate neighbors. 8 years I'd lived here, quiet, decent folks, decent houses. I'd bought a corner lot to park my landscaping equipment, figuring the only complaints I'd ever get would be about dandelions, not diesel trucks. I ran Morrison's Property Services landscaping and summer snow removal in winter. It kept the crew busy, the bills paid, and honestly, I liked the work. There's something almost magical about rolling out at sunrise and seeing driveways clear, knowing you're the difference between someone making it to work or being stranded at home. Everything went sideways the day Patricia Hrist took over the HOA. Now, if you've ever dealt with an HOA Karen, you know exactly who I mean. Mid-50s highlights, blonder than a country club's pool noodles, a smile with all the warmth of January wind, and a voice that could peel paint off a mailbox. She'd only lived here 2 years, but jumped into HOA politics like she was running for Congress. She'd note every little violation, garden gnomes, a mailbox painted the wrong shade of beige, you name it. The last president, Mr. Chen, a sweet retired teacher, finally threw in the towel after one too many meetings where Patricia read aloud from the bylaws like they were the 10 Commandments. At the next election, which was basically 15 sleepy homeowners and a stale box of donuts, she snatched the presidency by 8 votes. Most people didn't even know there was a vote. Patricia's first order of business, a printed newsletter like actual paper glossy, probably cost more than my plow's last oil change. 4 pages of rules. Some made sense, no trash cans left out for days. But others, approved paint colors, lawn ornament quotas, she handpicked the palette. I shrugged, kept my head down, paid my dues, kept my property clean, parked my truck where I could. Now my driveway's big, but not big enough for both my pickup and my plow rig, not in winter. Sometimes the plow stuck out 2 feet past the property line, legally parked on the street, just like a dozen other work trucks. Nobody cared. Until Patricia, that is. November rolls around and I get this official-looking letter, HOA letterhead and all, telling me commercial vehicles can't be parked overnight, fines incoming. I flip through the bylaws. Nothing. Nada. Plenty about boats and abandoned cars, but not a peep about plow trucks. I call Patricia. She answers like I just asked for a kidney. It's an aesthetic issue, Mr. Morrison. Your truck is an eyesore. Several neighbors have complained. Which neighbors? The HOA board can make reasonable rules for the good of the community. Comply or there will be fines. I want to see that in writing and I want to know who complained. Click. She hung up. I just stared at my phone. Seriously. A week later, a new letter arrives. Now there's an official no commercial vehicles, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., rule $100 a pop if I break it. The board who approved it, Patricia, her bestie Deborah Walsh, and Deborah's brother-in-law Tim Porter, none of whom had ever seen the inside of an election. Bylaws said they needed a quorum and an annual meeting. Didn't happen. Petty as it sounds, I started parking at 7:45 p.m., moving at 8:01 a.m. just to needle her. Another letter violating the spirit of the rule, whatever. Then December hits and the sky just dumps on us. City plows cover the main roads, but our little private subdivision. The HOA always paid for a snow removal contract until Patricia axed it to cut costs. Tim, one of her board minions, let it slip at the gas station. She says people can tough it out, use their own shovels, but the budget. That 12 grand went to beautification projects, new entrance signs with Patricia's name at the bottom in big shiny letters. December 18th. First real snow. 8 inches overnight, subdivision turns into a parking lot of spinning tires and stuck minivans. After I finish my paid plow routes, I circle back and clear the neighborhood roads for free. People wave, clap, thank me. It felt good, honestly, like being the neighborhood superhero for an afternoon. That night, Patricia calls me, voice like a cat on a chalkboard. You're creating a liability. Stop plowing or I'll have your truck towed. Patricia, you fired the plow company. No one's clearing the roads. None of your concern. If you keep plowing, your truck is gone. I just laughed. HOA didn't even own the streets. Maintenance was our responsibility, but they're still public roads. 2 days later, another storm, this one nearly a foot. I do my paying jobs and leave our streets buried. It's chaos. Cars stuck, people walking to the main road for rides, my phone ringing off the hook. I explain the situation, Patricia's orders. Every neighbor I talk to furious. Soon enough, a certified letter from Patricia lands on my doorstep. Now my truck's banned, $500 fines for parking. Anywhere. $2,000 for unauthorized snow removal, legal threats if I so much as touch a shovel in the subdivision. I call my lawyer, Robert Chen. Yes, Mr. Chen, the ex-HOA president's son. He laughs. She's bluffing. None of this is legal. Go to the next HOA meeting. Bring your neighbors. Take her down. Christmas comes. The biggest storm of the decade hits 26 inches in 2 days. Our neighborhood totally snowed in. I watch through the window helpless as Mr. Johnson, a sweet old man with a bad hip, gets his car stuck, then wades through waist-high snow to his house. When he has a medical emergency days later, the ambulance can't get in. They send a rescue vehicle on tracks, and even that takes 45 minutes. He survives barely. That's it. I've had enough. One night after everyone's gone to bed, I fire up the plow and clear every street in the neighborhood, 5 straight hours, pushing snow into all the right places, making sure no one's stuck. When I finish, it's 3 a.m. and I'm running on fumes, but the streets are clear. At 8 a.m. sharp, I'm woken by a pounding on my door. Patricia's there, tow truck in tow, pointing at my truck. The blade's over the sidewalk. That's HOA property. I'm having it towed. The tow guy looks at me, shrugs, and tells her he's not getting involved in a property dispute. She flips out, screaming that I'm a liability. Neighbors start gathering. Sarah Martinez from across the street walks over, stands between us, and says what everyone's been thinking. Patricia is out of line, and I helped people. The crowd backs her up. Patricia, outnumbered, storms off. That afternoon, another fine, another threat, this time $2,000. I bring everything to Robert. Go to the meeting. Bring the receipts. Bring the neighbors. So I do. For a week, I'm knocking on doors, printing emails, showing letters. Everybody's got a Patricia horror story. Sarah fined for a wreath. Dave threatened over a tree. It isn't just me. She's made the whole neighborhood miserable. January 8th, meeting night. Snow's falling again. Road's a mess. I show up and the place is packed, over 100 people crammed into the clubhouse, more than anyone's ever seen. Patricia's up front, stack of papers, gavel in hand. She tries to run the meeting, but Dave Richardson yells from the back to talk about the snow. Sarah stands up, accuses Patricia of never following procedure. The place erupts. Robert stands up, lawyer voice, calm and steady. The board isn't legitimate. The last election didn't have a quorum. The rules aren't legal. Patricia tries to bluster, but the room isn't buying it. Robert calls for an emergency election. Quorum is met. Hands shoot up. Patricia, Deborah, and Tim are outvoted in a landslide. Patricia tries to storm out, but I stop her. You're not getting off that easy. Return every fine you levied. Apologize to everyone you harassed. Explain why you cut snow removal and put lives at risk. Robert backs me up. If she doesn't, she could be facing lawsuits, even criminal charges if anyone had died. She turns pale, agrees to refund the fines, but curses us all and leaves, slamming the door. Deborah and Tim quit on the spot. The new board, Sarah as president, Dave as VP, and Helen Foster as treasurer, gets right to business, reinstating the snow removal budget and hiring a company. Then Sarah turns to me. Jack, would you take the contract? I can barely speak. Of course. The room erupts in applause. And over the next days, life gets better. People wave as I plow, bring me coffee, even slip a steakhouse gift card into my hand. Mr. Johnson tells me you saved my life. That one nearly makes me cry. Patricia. She tries to vanish, puts her house up for sale, but Helen uncovers $20,000 missing from HOA funds embezzled by Patricia, hidden with fake invoices. Cops show up, haul her out in cuffs. She gets 6 months in jail, 3 years probation, and every dime repaid to the HOA. The news picks it up. I do interviews, talk about how HOAs need to serve, not rule the people. Things change. The new board's transparent. Newsletters, meetings, open books. For the first time in years, Riverside Heights feels like a real community. I plow the roads, neighbors thank me, property values rise. That spring, Sarah and Dave throw a barbecue, nearly every family shows up. Mr. Johnson, healthy again, hands me a card signed by 50 neighbors. His wife hugs me and says, "Thank you for caring." I realize this fight stopped being about my truck a long time ago. It was about not letting a bully run the show, about people standing up for what's right. We rebuilt this place together, block by block, barbecue by barbecue, one cleared road at a time. When summer comes, the board quietly keeps things running. The story spreads, people call from other states wanting advice on how to handle their own HOAs. I always say, know your rights, stay involved, don't be afraid to stand up. Almost a year later, a young woman named Rebecca pulls up while I'm washing my truck. We're thinking of moving in. What's it really like here? I grin. Best neighborhood in the county. The HOA drama, that's ancient history. Now we just help each other out. Snow removal's top-notch, if I do say so myself. The next winter, the first snow falls and I'm up at dawn. Neighbors leave hot coffee, little thank you signs. Kids wave as I clear the roads. The plow blade sticks out over the sidewalk just a hair. No one complains. Looking back, Patricia's reign could have broken us. Instead, her power trip became the glue that pulled everyone together. Her need to control, to punish, to rule it was her undoing. In trying to stomp out kindness, she exposed her own cruelty for all to see. Now Riverside Heights is what it should be. I keep doing my job. Neighbors keep looking out for each other. The new HOA sends out boring meeting notes about playground equipment and dog poop stations. It's glorious. Some nights I sit in my chair phone buzzing with HOA emails, budget reports, bake sale reminders. Nothing dramatic. Outside snow falls gently, my truck waits in the driveway. And I think this is it. This is what we fought for. Not some grand victory, not headlines or heroics, but the right to live in peace, to help each other out, to belong. The real win isn't that Patricia is gone or that my truck's finally legal. It's that people stood up together and refused to be pushed around. That's how you build a community worth living in. One plowed road, one act of courage, one neighbor at a time. So let me throw it to you. What do you think? When does enforcing the rules cross the line into bullying? Should one person ever have that much power? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've ever tangled with an HOA or a neighborhood bully, let's hear your story. After all, sometimes the smallest acts of resistance spark the biggest changes, and sometimes just clearing a snowy road can clear the way for something so much bigger.